Never miss another live stream again. Hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and click see all notifications. What's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation? It's your boy Ed Honcho, aka your Houston homeboy, your Houston homer, and this is Sauce Sports. If you're not familiar with Sauce Sports is a Houston, Texas homer channel. So that means we're talking about all sports, but only Houston. As you can see today, we're inside the Toyota Center. So that means we're talking about the Rockets. The Spurs will be coming to town, and so we're gonna talk about the Red Hot Rockets and them suspect ass San Antonio Spurs. Rockets right now with a record of 22-4, and the San Antonio Spurs coming in with a record of 19-9. So today we're going to talk about the 3 points to victory for the Rockets to come out with a win today. So let's just get in it to win it. All right, so my first point of the 3 points to victory is we have to look at the fact that the Spurs, like I say, with Kawhi coming back, and he's the main man. They've been playing a particular way, and they've been doing pretty well. Like I say, 19-9 is not a bad record. I'm not sure exactly where they are in the standings. I have to check that out. I forgot to check that out. But like I say, one of the better teams in the West, of course. Not as good as the Rockets, though. You know, it is what it is. But like I said, it's going to take a little bit for them to get that chemistry back now that Kawhi is getting implemented into the lineup, even with the minute restriction, you know, to get used to his playing style from what they've been playing the first, 28 games, you know, almost 30 games without him. And having to readjust to that, you know, implement, you know, his skill set into the rotation, especially with, I think what I would say with Powell actually didn't have very good numbers when he came back, and like I said, kind of affected affecting the team chemistry. So that's something that's definitely we'll have to look at because it's going to become a different style of play. LaMarcus has been going back and forth at power forward and center and been playing well at both and doing well at both. And so he's definitely a guy that you're going to have to keep an eye on. You know, he's had a hot streak this year. And the thing is, Kawhi is damn good. He can come in, and if he's, like I said, if he's fully healthy, he's just, you know, trying to get his legs back under him, you know, get his basketball speed back going. He can come in and do some damage in the minutes that he's allowed to play. So, you know, we have to respect that. But they still, I think, this will be an advantage for the Rockets because, like I say, they have some chemistry issues that they have to work on, some things they have to tighten up, getting used to each other's game. And I feel like a team that's already kind of gelled together like the Rockets can take advantage of some of those little things. Like I say, it's things that these guys haven't been doing all year that'll be brought into the lineup now with Kawhi playing. And I think you just have to account for that. So I think that'll fall into the advantage category for the Rockets. So let's get to the second point. The second point of the 3 points to victory is you have to respect the Rockets role players. No, it's easy to talk about the big names like James and Chris Paul, you know, because these guys are stars and they've been doing it at a high level for so long. But you have to respect guys like Clint Capella, who's starting to really come into his own this year. Guys like Ryan Anderson. Let's not sleep on Gordon. I don't necessarily consider him a role player, you know, six-man type situation. But Gordon, if you want to count Gordon, if you want to count Ariza, these are all guys who can drop 20 points on you a night, you know, given that they're playing consistently. Like I say, you know, there's ups and downs. Capella had a little bit of trouble with Dwight last game, but I think that it'll be an interesting matchup if he has to go against LA, and, you know, it'll be very interesting to see what happens with Gasol. And Ryan Anderson is a guy, like I say, he almost dropped, I want to say he dropped, 23, 27 the other night. He's a guy that can go off. You know what I'm saying? When he's hot, he can go off on you. And so you have to respect these guys, you know, not sleeping on them. If San Antonio comes in here, you know, mainly focused on stopping James Harden, stopping Chris Paul, you know, all they have to do is get the balls in some of these other guys' hands. Like I say, it's going to be a lot of space and going to be a lot of open shots. And you just got to hope those shots are falling. You got to hope Capella's doing his thing, not getting in foul trouble. And if these guys can stay on the court and play, I mean, it's going to be a great addition for the Rockets. So I know people are worried about James, and we're talking about Game 6 last year and all that shit. You know, you got guys who have stepped their game up around him. You have another star caliber player around him. Don't expect to ever see a situation like that Game 6 again. But like I said, you got to respect the role players and what they can bring to this Rockets team. I think when it comes to that, I believe that's another advantage for the Rockets in this game. So let's talk about the third point to victory. The third point to victory is this. You know, we were just speaking about role players. We were just talking about chemistry. We have two of the best passers in the league. San Antonio is I want to say the #1 defense right now. I think, if I'm not mistaken, allowing like 97.5 points a game, something like that. Basically like 98 points a game. You know, the Rockets, they like 100 and some change every game. So like I was talking about, you know, relying on role players, respecting the role players. If the defense is able to clamp down on James or CP3, you know, and limit their shooting or limit their scoring, these guys are two of the best passers, if not the two best passers in the league. You know, I know the other day LeBron tried to come out and try to put a little passing display on. He's not quite on that level. He's a damn good passer, don't get me wrong, but he's not passing like the level of CP3 or James Harden right now. It's not even close. I don't see too many other guys who are able to do that at the clip at which they're doing it, and still be able to score as well as they have. CP3 went off the other day. We really don't expect a lot of scoring from him. Usually that's James' game, but it's good to see that we have somebody who will and can and will pick up the slack if James is unavailable or he just doesn't go off. And he still dropped 21 points and still had a good stat line. So let's not say like he was just trash, but we're expecting 30, 40 points from James and shit like that. But the fact that we don't have to simply rely on scoring alone from these guys, that these guys are versatile enough to get the ball into the hands of the open man. And I think that's been the biggest difference, even though James was passing amazing last year. But now you have double that type of production. You got two guys who are able to do it, and that type of flow is able to stay on the court at all times. So it's never easing up. So that's the beautiful thing about it. And so I feel like that's going to be an advantage. We've been undefeated since Chris Paul has been back. And the thing also about Chris Paul is the leadership that he brings on the floor. Once he starts to see situations not going favorably for the Rockets, watch Chris Paul. Watch what he does. See how he operates on the floor. It's something I never noticed about him when he was a Clipper, when he played elsewhere. But now that when he's on your team, you start paying more attention. Look how he instructs, as in between plays. Watch Chris Paul. And Chris Paul might just be that needed addition. He is that necessary addition, like I say, to complement James's game, to get us to that next level. Because James is kind of lackadaisical sometimes. He's a leader, but in his own way. Chris Paul, he has the bark and the bite, and he's going to make sure he gets shit in line. And that's what we need, like I say, when shit is slacking. So that's the third point. But before we get out of here, let's talk about one more thing. So traditionally, the Spurs tend to play the Rockets very well. So my prediction on this game is going to be 113-107, that the Rockets come away with the win, but I don't think it's going to be as easy as we expect. I expect us to get a few leads here and there, nice leads, and I think that they come back kind of towards the end and try to close it up. I don't think that we'll be in danger of losing the game. I just don't see us blowing them out like we've been doing a lot of other teams. Like I think this one will be a little bit closer. I think if we get into a situation like we've had, I want to say two of the last few games, two of the last three games, where we were falling behind early and then kind of had to fight our way back into it, then I don't want to be in a situation like that with the Spurs, because that's a much more difficult challenge to execute. We were successful the last few times and stretched the lead out nicely or whatever it may have been, but you don't want to get into a similar situation like we just had with the Trailblazers with the Spurs, because it might not be the same outcome. You can work over Damian Lillard like that, but the Spurs team as a whole is just a much better defense, and you just don't want to you don't want to put your back against the wall like that. So the Rockets need to get out early. They need to, hope that these shots are falling, but they need to take smart shots. Of course they're going to take a million threes a game. Hopefully, like I say, we're at home, so those shots will be hot. Those role-playing guys like Anderson, hopefully Ariza can go off. Ariza plays great defense, so I'm not really necessarily worried about him and what he brings to the table. Muthaf not playing is going to be a little bit of a hurt. Like I say, he'll be out a couple of weeks. But the MRI was relatively positive because it didn't show any tears or any real damage. So like I said, they said 2 to 3 weeks, which is cool. That's nothing wrong with that. Get a little bit of rest, rest your body, come back full speed and ready to go. Now, y'all already know, man. I got to tell y'all, I ain't got to tell y'all twice. Slide over to staysaucy.com, okay? Go get you some of the freshest motherfucking flavor of the motherfucking game, man. It's Christmas time, sauce up your relatives, sauce up your community, you know what I'm saying? Show some love, man. Let them boys know you stay saucy, like I say, and they always appreciate everybody who's ordered, everybody who showed love to the channel and supported. Like I say, I thank y'all and appreciate y'all for that. But with that being said, man, I'm your boy at Honcho. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool, Sauce Nation. But before I get up out of here, before I forget, y'all are the freshest motherfucking ingredients, so I need y'all to do me a favor. If you're not a fresh ingredient, first you got to subscribe to the channel to become a fresh ingredient. That's the only way you are a fresh ingredient. Then you drop your flavor in the comment section below. You know what I'm saying? Drip a little flavor in the comments. Let me know how you feel about this game, what you expect. Let me know your prediction, the outcome. We will be streaming fucking Friday tonight, so make sure y'all tune in for that. So we're going to be talking shit and all that other good stuff. But with that being said, man, chunk of the deuce. It's your boy Ed Honcho. I'm out. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool, and make sure you stay saucy.